I don't want to know what they want. They're saying things. They're explaining things with their eyes. In my head, they're saying, don't be afraid, we won't harm you. Do what we say. Just do what we say.
Those were the words of one of 4 men, spoken under hypnotic regression. Each man was hypnotized separately, and each described a remarkably similar, deeply unsettling experience. Deep in the Maine wilderness, they claimed something happened one night, something that would follow them for the rest of their lives. In August of 1976, 4 friends, brothers Jim and Jack Weiner, Charlie Foltz, and Chuck Rack, set out on a 2-week canoeing and camping trip through the remote Allagash Wilderness waterway in northern Maine. They were experienced outdoorsmen, looking forward to fishing, campfires, and stargazing beneath some of the darkest skies in the eastern United States. For the first few nights, nothing out of the ordinary happened. Just quiet days on the water and peaceful nights around the fire. On one of the early nights, while relaxing near the lake, the group noticed a strange, bright light in the sky. It was larger and more brilliant than any star or aircraft they'd ever seen, hovering silently above the tree line before suddenly vanishing. At the time, they dismissed it, unaware that it may have been a warning of what was to come. A couple of nights later, around 9 to 10 p.m., the 4 men loaded their canoe and headed out for a night of fishing on Eagle Lake. Before leaving shore, they built a massive bonfire to serve as a beacon, ensuring they could find their way back in the darkness. Not long after pushing off, paddling quietly beneath a star-filled sky, Chuck Rack suddenly spotted something. A glowing, pulsating orb hovering silently above the tree line. It looked disturbingly familiar. It wasn't a plane, it wasn't a helicopter, and it wasn't anything that they recognized. The men watched in silence, transfixed, until Charlie Foltz did something he perhaps shouldn't have. He grabbed his flashlight and began signaling the object with an SOS pattern, hoping it might respond. To their astonishment, it did. The orb began moving towards them, descending lower and growing brighter, as if reacting directly to their signal. That's when curiosity turned into fear. That fear surged through the group. The object was no longer distant. It was approaching them. Hearts pounding, they began paddling frantically towards shore. As they sped across the water, a cone-shaped beam of light emerged from the object, sweeping across the lake like a silent spotlight. There was no sound, just an oppressive, unnatural silence as the beam tracked the canoe's movement. Every stroke of the paddle brought them closer to land, but the light followed, closing in. Then, everything changed. The beam of light engulfed the canoe. The next thing they knew, they were back on shore, staring up at the bright object overhead. One of the brothers later recalled thinking the craft was so close that he could pick up a stone and bounce it off its surface. Chuck Rack picked up the flashlight and signaled at the object a second time. But this time, there was no response. The object slowly drifted upward, appeared to shrink, reappeared higher in the sky, and then shot away at incredible speed. The massive bonfire that they had built earlier was now reduced to glowing embers. Though they believed they had been gone only minutes, the condition of the fire suggested that hours had passed. Shaken and confused, the 4 men said little about what had happened. Completely exhausted, they went to bed. They spent the remaining days of their trip quietly, never seeing the light again. Back home, life resumed, but the incident didn't leave them. As the years passed, the men began experiencing vivid nightmares, strange dreams about unfamiliar places, and lingering anxiety. Eventually, they turned to hypnotic regression therapy in attempts to uncover what happened to them that night. Under hypnosis, Each man, interviewed separately, recalled an experience that went far beyond just seeing a strange light. They described being lifted from the canoe, taken aboard a brightly lit craft, being paralyzed, and then being examined by non-human beings with large eyes and thin limbs. Despite never hearing each other's sessions, their accounts shared striking similarities. You've already heard the words of one of the men, Jack, at the beginning of this video. What follows are the accounts of the others. Each man was hypnotized separately, and none of them heard each other's sessions. And yet, their descriptions are disturbingly consistent. This is what they said.
They don't know what to do. I think they think I'm gonna come after them. I feel like I want to. I feel like I wanna... The first one that comes near me, I'm gonna throttle them. That's what I wanna do, is throttle them. I don't like these things. I don't care where they come from. They shouldn't be doing this to people. I'm afraid, and it's like a doctor's office. It's cold like a doctor's office. It's cold. They put a panel over your chest, then they scrape your arms, your chest, your legs and thighs. We shouldn't be here. I just keep thinking I want to be back on the canoe. I see some sort of device on him. They've got, it looks like a silvery, it looks like it has curves on it. It's almost like it sucks something. He's got his head tipped way back. It's almost like he's in pain. We're just there. We can't help him. We're just, all we can do is watch him.
4 men, 4 separate hypnosis sessions, and yet the fear, the setting, and the experience all align. In an effort to determine whether the men were telling the truth, all 4 later agreed to do a polygraph, or a lie detector test. Each man was tested individually, and each man passed. Despite the consistency of their accounts, skeptics argue that hypnosis is not reliable. Others propose more conventional explanations, like misidentified aircraft, psychological stress, or a natural phenomenon, like swamp gas. Years later, one of the 4 men, Chuck, would publicly distance himself from the abduction narrative that emerged under hypnosis. But even then, he never denied seeing the light, or that something unexplained happened on Eagle Lake that night. The other 3 men have never recanted, and continue to stand by their accounts to this day. Regardless of what you believe, the Allagash Abductions remains one of the most compelling multiple witness cases in UFO history. Not just because of what the men claim, but because of what we know now. In recent years, governments and high-ranking military and intelligence officials have openly acknowledged the existence of unidentified anomalous phenomena. Objects in our skies that demonstrate capabilities beyond known technology. They don't call them aliens. They don't claim to know where they come from. But they do admit something is here. Now, whether that something is visitors from another planet, another dimension, or just us from the future, the truth is something is here. And it always has been. What do you think happened on Eagle Lake that night? Was it aliens? A natural phenomenon? Or something else entirely? If you liked the video, make sure to like and subscribe, por favor. Thank you for watching, and good night.